The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Good afternoon, good morning, Brigade. How are you? Welcome into another episode, a Thursday episode of The Bostonian versus The Book. Dave Sherapan, The Book, Matt Perrault, The Bostonian. We are live after our day off yesterday. The A's gear is appropriate for Dave. We'll get to it in a second. On our YouTube channel, at Boston versus The Book, and on X Twitter, same handle, at Boston versus The Book. Sports Grid TV replay at 10 p.m. Pacific time every night. Sports Grid also on Sirius XM, channel 159, where you can catch the program. Hopefully you guys had a nice Wednesday. We're back on a Thursday. My entire schedule is all messed up. I don't know what day it is. I thought it was Wednesday. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Roll Call Friday. 2 guests on the program today, but how was the trip, Dave? Welcome back.
Trip was great. I don't even know where I'm at. It was like a long day up, back. Be my favorite thing about today. We'll sum it up quick now because, you know, we got things we got to get to. It was fantastic. And didn't get a run. The Pirates didn't get a run. I mean, I had the banjo man even come over and do beat the Bucks, beat the Bucks. I was like, man, everybody's piling on here. I guess I brought it on, but it was fun. You know, our guy says hello. Justin was, you want to talk about a host? Like,
right.
It was amazing. I hung out with him the whole day.
Nice.
Shared some great stories.
Well, we'll get to it here at the top. So don't tell it yet.
It was fantastic.
First and foremost, Todd Schrupp from FanDuel TV will join us here in about 10 minutes as we continue Derby Week. We'll get his
Derby Week.
He's at Churchill, just like when we had Randy Moss on Tuesday for NBC Sports. Todd's at Churchill Down. So we'll get his thoughts on the Oaks running tomorrow. We'll get his thoughts on the Derby for Saturday, all coming up here in about 10 minutes. So stay tuned coming up for that. Then Dimitri Ravanos from Barrett Sports Media is going to join us because there's a big article out on Dave this morning that is 100% worth your time to read. It's a really well-written piece. Some of the stories, the Brigade, you guys will have already heard for a while, but definitely worth going and checking it out because I read it first thing this morning. It's a really good piece. Meet the Betters is a series that the Barrett Sports Media folks are running, and Dave Sherapan, Dave, is the focus of that today. So it's on my Twitter. It's on the BVB Twitter. It's on Dave's Twitter. Go and check it out. Go read it. Highly worth your time. So he will be joining us. Dimitri will be on here in about, 30 minutes. We'll get him on the program.
Yeah.
If you guys are new to Thursday or new to the show, because there may be some new people coming in because of the article, never seen the show before. We are going to Chicago. We made this announcement on Thursday.
Yes.
You guys can see us live in Chicago 2 weeks from today is
Thursday, right?
Thursday,
that's it. Yeah.
May the 16th.
Yep.
2 weeks from today, we'll be live at the Over Under Bar in Chicago, thanks to Circus Sports. We're going to have a ton of cool things, more details to come as to who's going to be showing up and who's going to be there. But if you're in the Midwest and you can make the drive up, Over Under Sports Bar in Chicago, Thursday, May the 16th. It's a pregame for the Cubs because they play the Pirates, who Dave saw play yesterday. Pirates Cubs is a 6:40 start time at Wrigley. We'll be on the air from 3 until 5 Central Time on Thursday, May the 16th, live in Chicago, thanks to Circus Sports and Circus Sports Illinois. Looking forward to getting up there and being a part of that. We got to get all the travel stuff together for that coming up for us to head to Chicago for in 2 weeks' time for that. We're looking forward to being able to do that. Super chats are always available after the show. We'll get into it. If you guys have any picks, plays, thoughts, things you want us to talk about, feel free. Bottom left-hand corner, top left-hand corner of the chat on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book for that.
Unless you're going to come in and say the Knicks. Don't do that. Just save it.
I don't know about that. We'll get to that later. You flew 1,000 miles to watch your team get shut out.
thought you weren't going to bring this up right now.
How do you feel about this? Top of the show, we're going to bring this up. How do you feel about this? You flew all that time, all that up there to Oakland.
First of all, it's a short flight.
It's 1,000 miles, though. It's a short flight, but it's still 1,000 miles.
Is it really?
I think so. Yeah, it's far. I mean, you're going from Nevada to the
I'll
top
go
of California.
under 1,000 miles.
It's far. It's far. It's a far flight.
Somebody look how far it is from Las Vegas to Oakland.
Well, because you can't drive directly. You have to fly over the mountains. It's a quicker flight. It's a 8-hour drive.
Well, it was like an 8-hour flight because I got on the plane.
Okay.
And we pull away from the gate, get out on the runway, and the pilot comes over to speaker and goes, there's a light on, and we don't know what it is. So we're going to go back to the gate and see how long this is going to take for whatever this light is. And I'm thinking, all right, that's good. Like when you're in the car and a light comes on, you're like, okay. We get there and immediately the flight attendants go, all right, prepare the plane for everybody to get off, whatever. And I was like, wait a second, what's happening? All right, everybody off the plane. We don't know how long this is going to take. I'm like, I just need an answer. I'm walking off. I see the pilot. I'm like, any shot of knowing? And they're like, go talk to customer service. I said, customer service doesn't want to talk to me right now. The game starts at 12:30. I got to get there. We get out. I'm looking at alternative flights. I'm going to go to San Francisco. I got to get the guy to meet me, this and that. Next thing you know, they fixed another plane. They got a plane cleared. We walked a mile in the airport to another gate, got on a plane, and I got there in time to see them score nothing.
Yeah. By the way, I was right. It's 1,000 miles round trip. So you flew 1,000 miles to go watch your team get shut out.
Total. 1,000 miles.
Total. 500 miles each way. Google said it's 500 miles each way. So I wasn't totally off. Round trip's 1,000 miles. 500 miles up.
Yeah.
Watch your team get.
This is perfect. You froze. That's good. I don't hear you. I don't see you moving. That's good because I don't want to hear about it anymore. There's Banjo Man. That's Justin and I with Stomper, the mascot. We had a great time. The BVB hats made their debut. The guys next to me signed up for the show.
Oh, nice.
Because Rainmaker Lou and the Breadmen FaceTimed me and said, we're taking the Pirates team total over because Stripling hasn't had a win since 2022. And he's been giving up runs early. I said, hey, that sounds great. These guys overheard the conversation. They said, wow, you guys know what you're talking about. I said, yeah, I think you guys would really like the show. And Justin hammed it up and said, oh, the guys are great. You real like the show.
Nice.
The subscribe button right there. It's on the YouTube. It's on every day. I said, tomorrow we're going to be talking about this game. I didn't think we'd be talking about the A's getting a shutout, P-Roll. Stripling was he was dealing. It was unbelievable. But I mean, we were right behind home plate, and there was like I could hear everything.
Well, go through this though. Okay, so you got there.
Yep.
The flight was delayed. How late were you?
Well, apparently now in Oakland, they're not even opening the gates to the game until 60 minutes before.
Wow.
Justin didn't even know that. So, because he met me, we
just
took
so you
the
guys
train
know,
over.
Justin is Justin Hathaway. He's the head of NBC Sports Bay Area and NBC Sports California. So for him not to know that is significant.
He was like, wait, they don't open the gates? Because we got there early in Oracle Arena where the Warriors used to play, share a parking lot.
Empty.
So we kind of walked around there because we couldn't go in. And then we got in and it was fast. I mean, I wanted to walk around, take a little bit of history. It's a shame what they're doing to that ballpark. I mean, they're making it like just completely like the A's were never there. They're stripping the signage
already.
It's unbelievable. You there's one little sign outside the Coliseum, like they used to eat. Even Justin, because he hadn't walked around there, he used to go in the press entrance and going in. We walked around almost the whole stadium. We're just killing time and whatever, trying to find somebody that might let us in. Nobody would let us in. They said, we don't open the gates till an hour before. So he's like, where's all the signage? There was nothing. It was nothing there. So Yeah,
Man
it was.
alive. That's amazing that they're
It was.
just going to
It's
wipe.
almost like they're trying to erase the history.
Oh,
which,
yeah, of course they are, because they're leaving. They're going to Sacramento. I mean, that's where
Yeah.
they're going next year. The A's will leave the Coliseum and go play at the AAA stadium in Sacramento until the ballpark here in Vegas is ready. And they just actually broke ground on destroying the Tropicana 2 days ago. So they just started the backhoe and knocking things down and starting to get it down. So yeah, I mean, Joe, the city's pretty pissed at them. I would, and frankly, I don't blame the city for being pretty pissed off at the whole entire organization.
The fans are angry. Like, I wore the
How many
Pirates
people
stuff
were there?
on the plane? Right?
How many people were there? Like, legitimately?
Well, Johnny Parlay just came in the chat before.
Yeah, no,
Had the
that's
official
announced.
attendance
It's
announcement.
announced. I'm talking. I want to know how many people were actually butts in seats, because this is just what the official box score says.
4,679 at
We're not
Buck
4,000
A's,
people in that ballpark like yesterday. I watched it.
4,453 at the Aviators doubleheader. He wasn't there. He's still in Ohio, but I know they count sold at the Aviators. I don't know if they count sold at Oakland.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Of course they do.
Okay.
They do sold tickets. Yes, they don't do actual attendance.
Well, it didn't feel like there were 4,000.
We're not 4,000 people there in that building. There's no way. You
But
can
it was-
hear the kids talking in the commentator, the microphone for the guys who are up doing the broadcast. You can hear kids down below talking.
There must have been 1,000 kids there.
Yeah.
They
Right.
they were all milling around, and I said to Justin, "Is this a giveaway day?
Yeah.
Like, it must have been a business
Yeah.
person special.
Right.
Get the kids out
Get
of
the
school,
kids out of
take them to
school.
the
Yeah,
A's Day
of course.
or whatever." And they all sang. A big group of them sang the national anthem, so that was fun. But I mean, we sat in the seats. I was in the first row, literally in the first row behind home plate.
Yeah.
You share the runway with the players. They walk out of their clubhouse, and you have to say, "Excuse me," to them or them to you for them to get out on the field. Like, I almost bumped into who was it? A couple guys on the A's, and I was like, what is happening right now? And Justin's like, stand on the side, stand on the side. I was like, oh, they're literally coming out to warm up right now, pregame.
That's neat.
So it was bizarre.
Then the game happened. Your team gets blanked.
Oh, yeah. Stranded like 12 runners. I mean, it couldn't get a clutch base hit.
So then after that, what did you guys do? Because Justin told me he was going to take you and show you Oakland. And I said, well, my brother lives there, so I've been to Oakland around. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, been to San Fran and Oakland a lot. But he's like, I'm going to show Dave Oakland. So did he show you Oakland?
So we had some time after the game. It was a fast game. Game was done in a little over 2 hours, 4-0. And there was a bunch of 1, 2, 3 innings. We had a tremendous waitress. She was Rita or Frida, actually.
Okay, sure.
She was great. We left. We said goodbye to her. And he goes, all right, we're going to go to this place. I really like it. Got on a train, walked 2 blocks.
Not the BART, right? Do you know the BART? The BART?
Yeah.
Or a different train. Oh, the BART.
The BART.
Nice.
I didn't. That's the only way we got around.
It's awesome. The Bay
from
Area
the airport.
Bay Area Rapid Transit is BART. It's tremendous.
It was amazing. Like,
Yep.
I got off the plane, walked across. Justin was waiting there for me. He goes, we're going up here. This Coliseum's 2 exits away. Perfect. We got back on a train after, or BART or whatever, and then went to this bar, hung out, watched the Knights and the Stars first period.
Oh, okay.
The Celtics game was on, but I mean, that was useless. That was I was more interested in the baseball, and we hung out there, had a meal, and then he got me back on there, and I was back at the airport an hour before my flight, and it was perfect. It was great, but no hits, clutch hits, no. 10 guys on base, 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Thank you, Nicky Ciramello. It felt like 100. And
was it worth it? Was the trip worth it?
Oh, beyond worth it.
Nice. Good.
Beyond worth it. Just to spend the day with Justin was worth it. But the game itself, I'm glad I got to see it. And I FaceTimed Big Consig Kylie.
Oh.
She's already planning her trip to go up and see the A's in person. She wants
tickets are not hard to come by.
No, they're pretty available.
Right.
Yeah. Good seats too.
Yep.
And I mean, the kids are big A's fans because half the guys on the team played for the Aviators.
Right.
So they know them all.
Yep.
Yeah.
AAA here team. So
we're going back.
We're going back. All right.
We're going back.
That sounds good. All right, let's go back to Churchill Downs. We went there on Tuesday.
Thank goodness.
Run for the Roses, the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby will happen coming up here on Saturday. Todd Trepp from FanDuel TV has been kind enough to join us here in the Bostonian versus the book. First time Todd's on the program, and look at that shot. Wow.
Here, I'll give you a better one. There's
Look
the
at that shot.
right there.
Holy,
Oh,
that's
my goodness.
unbelievable.
Wow.
Literally, the steeples are his backdrop at Churchill Downs.
That is
Look
perfect.
at
What
that.
a pro. My goodness. Todd, it's great to meet you. Great to see you. The weather there right now looks perfect. Is it perfect right now?
It is perfect, unless you're a polar bear like me. And I tend to sweat a little bit, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Main track fast, turf course firm. As far as the predictions with weather over the next 2 days, Friday, Oaks Day, it jumps up to about 85% in the middle of the afternoon. So we might have an off track late tomorrow, but Saturday looks perfect for the Kentucky Derby. Plan on a fast track.
So the draw was Saturday. We talked about it a bunch already during the week, but has that changed the week, like the rhythm of how things have gone for you guys in the media covering this race, or is it easier to have it be done on Saturday and to get there Monday and know everything?
I got to tell you, let me put it to you this way. So it was about 2 years ago. I traveled to more Kentucky Derby prep races than I ever have in my history for what was TVG and now FanDuel TV. I went 10 weeks straight on the road. I went to Louisiana Derby. I went to Florida Derby. I went into the Keeneland Spring Meet for the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes. I had a line on the entire 3-year-old crop. That was the year that Rich Strike drew in off the also eligible list and won. It's like, I'm like, who is this horse? Like, we haven't seen him else. Like, what do we? So all I'm saying is it's a never-ending shifting amount of information right up until post time. So yes, the post position draw was a seminal moment because you got to debate who got a good draw, who got a less than favorable draw, but there is always information breaking. This morning, there was some concern about Honor Marie. I guess on your show, we can say this. It was just actually kind of an uncomfortable testicle he had. So it wasn't anything real serious. Yeah, it wasn't anything real serious. And I like Honor Marie as a long shot. So I was concerned when I heard there was something going on. So you have to separate rumors from facts because there's a lot of rumors that go around as well. But bottom line is we're sitting a little more than 48 hours from the race. And I'd suspect we'll probably have more information out there to digest and take in. And sometimes, just as a player, you got to put your blinkers on, and your first instinct is usually your right instinct. And not only do you put the blinkers on, I think you put the earmuffs on too and block out some of the noise out there.
Outstanding. This is the first time that uncomfortable testicle has ever been said on this show, and I totally appreciate it. I'm going to use it the rest of the show, let alone tomorrow. Todd, so you did the trips around to the different prep races and all this other stuff. How much of the prep races go into the handicap for you this year? Is there any race one above the other that you saw or are using to look at this race on Saturday?
Every year, my advice to people is don't watch the clock, don't look at the numbers, go watch the races. It's a visual process and handicapping the Kentucky Derby. Who had a troubled trip? Who's ready to improve? You got to remember, we're essentially talking about teenagers here, high schoolers, who are improving as athletes from race to race. So a horse like Fierceness, he wins the Florida Derby with no problem. It's the biggest performance of his career to date. Does he have another move forward, or does he go backwards? I think he ultimately goes backwards. I don't like the horse that comes in with no problems, that wins by 13 lengths. I want to see a horse that is slowly improving and maybe had some trouble and had to overcome it. The Derby, because it is a field of 20, because it is 1.25 miles, a distance they've never gone, it's a rough and tumble race. And you need a horse who can handle that. You don't want a horse that is flashy, has been winning easily, and then the moment comes along, and as soon as something goes wrong, that horse checks out. So I look at the visual process in those prep races. So yes, the prep races are very, very important. Watching them is more important than the time that those races finish in, and really adjusting to who's going to move forward on Derby Day. I think Louisiana through the fairgrounds had one of the best routes to the Kentucky Derby.
Yes.
Oakland is eliminated because Moose went through there. That's for Bob Baffert. That horse can't get in. You could look at Just Steele, who was second, but I mean, he's a long shot that could maybe hit the board. But through the fairgrounds, you had Catching Freedom, who won the Louisiana Derby, and then the race prior to that, and the Risen Star, you had Sierra Leone, who was awesome on an off racetrack. Sierra Leone backed up that form when he went to the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes and won there. But you also have to note who was second in the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes, a horse by the name of Just a Touch for trainer Brad Cox. He broke his maiden in his debut at the fairgrounds. To me, Louisiana had the best 3-year-old crop overall because it was the deepest 3-year-old crop.
Whew. Todd, Fierceness is getting a lot of love. The 17 right now, people, it looks like even money right now. Is it justified? We thought Sierra Leone might go off as the favorite. Come Saturday, who do you think goes off as the favorite?
Fierceness will be the favorite because Mike Rapoli's behind him. Mike Rapoli will get a lot of media attention. He'll be telling everyone that after last year, when unfortunately Forte had to scratch, that this is his year. And so I hope they bet on Fierceness. To me, Fierceness truly is all or nothing. Either he is the best horse of this 3-year-old crop, and he proves it in the Kentucky Derby, or I think he bounces to the moon. I think he bounces to the moon. I think he's going to regress off the Florida Derby. He reminds me of a couple of horses. He reminds me of Bellamy Road, who dominated the Wood Memorial, came to Kentucky with a huge reputation. He had everything his way in the Wood Memorial, and then he absolutely melted down here. And that was the year that Giacomo pulled off the upset. He also reminds me of another horse, Unbridled Song, back in 1992, who was the best horse of that generation coming into the Derby. He had some foot problems. He had the lead at the top of the stretch, and it turned out to be an upset with Grindstone. And then an unknown Bob Baffert at that time, Cavalier, was the second place finisher. So I look at a lot of horses over the years. I think there's a lot of historical references to horses like Fierceness. He'll be the favorite, but he won't be the horse that I'll be playing.
You sounded like you described a horse that you didn't want. You didn't want a horse that didn't have much trouble and that looked great and undefeated and all this other stuff. Can you explain this love for Forever Young? Because I can't. I mean, we haven't seen it happen yet.
Yes.
And yet these horses come over, Todd, and
you're right.
People fall in love with them, right?
No. How many times have you heard the phrase, the Japanese are going to win the Kentucky Derby this year? Or a horse from Dubai is finally going to win the Kentucky Derby this year? Until it happens, you won't be getting my money. Now, if you want to make a case for Forever Young, when he was in Dubai, he won at 1 mile 3/16. But also keep in mind the Louisiana Derby for Catching Freedom was 1 mile 3/16. So those are the two longest prep races. So those horses don't really have to stretch too far to go the 1.25 miles. But I've watched that win in Dubai, and it didn't impress me. And on top of that, his Japanese workmate here, who is going in the race, I think actually has been working better than him. But I don't think neither of them are going to win the Kentucky Derby. I just think it's the allure of, again, Japan has been winning some of the biggest races in the world. Obviously, their program has taken a step forward. But the Kentucky Derby, there have been foreign interests that have spent tens of millions of dollars. You can just look no further than Sheikh Mohammed and Godolphin, and they realize it is a very difficult race to win. They've won every race truly on every continent, every Group 1, but they haven't won a Kentucky Derby. I think the Japanese Racing Association at some point might have a horse here that can pull it off. I don't think they have that horse this year.
Todd, obviously the Derby Saturday's got everyone's attention, but in the chat they're asking about the Oaks tomorrow. Do you have any leans, any thoughts, any picks on the Oaks coming tomorrow?
Torpedo Anna was on my radar last year as a 2-year-old because she has experience here at Churchill Downs. So I was excited to see her start her 3-year-old season. And what she did at Oakland Park backed up how excited I am about her. And the best line from Ken McPeak was someone asked him, well, it looks like you're going up against a bunch of bears. He goes, well, they better be because I'm bringing a grizzly. She is awesome. Torpedo Anna, 5-1 in the morning line was never going to happen. I think the early odds are about 5-2, but my race starts with her and pretty much stays there. My Oaks Day is going to be all around Torpedo Anna.
All right. You've been a horse guy for years. Congratulations on 25 years. We saw the video with the cake and all that other stuff. What's your, say, 1 or 2 biggest memories? Because for me, I'm done having kids, but if I get another dog, I'm naming it Rich Strike because I had to try with Rich Strike.
Oh, you did?
I hit the try, Todd, and I'm not even
Wow.
a horse guy. It was unbelievable. I hit the all button on top for the first time in my life because I wasn't sure. And then I got the 2 and the 3 spots. But like Animal Kingdom was one of the ones in the book that we had, and it was just that stretch run. I'll never forget Animal Kingdom, obviously Rich Strike. Any 1 or 2 stick out to you in all this time that you've done this?
Okay, so for the Kentucky Derby only, you're going to limit me to that?
No, you can come with anything you want, sir.
Okay, Zenyatta's the easiest. She is one of the greatest horses I've ever seen in person. I know the East Coast wants to talk about how she was on synthetics, but I'm just telling you, her win in the Breeders' Cup Classic over the boys at Santa Anita, people literally floated out of the track. I still get emotional thinking about it. I've never, and I'm telling you right now, I would put that above American Pharoah winning the Triple Crown. That's how joyous it was. And I was there for American Pharoah. I saw the reaction. It was a great feeling, but it did not come close to Zenyatta becoming the first female racehorse to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. I can tell you that the following year when she lost was the saddest moment I've had at the racetrack. And then I would, in the second spot, there are 2 things that are very close. One is seeing Deep Impact. Speaking of Japanese racing, I went to the Japan Cup in Tokyo. He was one of the most revered champions they've ever had. He had a humiliating defeat in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. He came back to Japan. He won the Japan Cup. I loved his running style. He'd always launch from far back. He had won the Japanese Triple Crown as a 3-year-old. But to see 150,000 racing fans at the track, all banging their programs in unison as he roared down the stretch, I'll never forget that. And then I would say for the Kentucky Derby, since we are talking about it, Barbaro was Pegasus on Earth. I remember going to see Barbaro on Thursday of Derby week, and he was just grazing outside his barn. And I knew in that moment, and the way he had worked that week, he was going to win the Kentucky Derby, but I didn't know how easily he would do it. He will always be the horse that I will wonder, what if he didn't get injured in the Preakness, could he have swept the Triple Crown? He was also a great horse on the grass. So when I come here, I think of Barbaro quite a bit.
That's phenomenal. So, Todd, we were having a debate a couple days ago, and then we asked Randy Moss the question, and he called it lighter fluid. Are you pro or anti-mint julep? Is it a good drink, or is it something that you should never touch?
Anti.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Thank you. That's 2 horse guys.
Sweet. I'm sorry. You're a tourist if you're loving mint juleps.
Tell him.
I've been coming to Kentucky, as you pointed out, for 25 years. I've become a bourbon guy. And I started out, okay, I'm going to put a little Diet Coke in my bourbon. Then I went to ice, and now I drink my bourbon neat. And I wonder, why did I ever put Coke or anything in that? Just give me unadulterated alcohol. So sign me up for bourbon neat. None of this mint julep stuff.
So how does this race play out? Like, how are you looking at this? Like, everyone that we're talking to is like, it's speed right out of the gate. That horse on the inside going right to the front, and we're going to get burners beginning, and somebody's coming from the back or something. Is that accurate, or how do you see this thing playing out on Saturday?
Well, every year people talk about, oh, maybe the pace isn't that fast this year in the Kentucky Derby, and it's always fast. So I think you can always count on a fast pace. But you hit on something very important, door knock drawing the rail. Door knock drawing the rail forces his hand. It allows Sierra Leone to drop back a little bit because that speed horse is going to clear off early on. But between him and Fierceness and a couple others in there, I think it will be a blistering pace. Does that mean that Sierra Leone's going to win from far back? I think Sierra Leone is one of the most reliable horses to finish up in the race, but I do think Catching Freedom absolutely has as good of a finish. I think Honor Marie has a decent finish, but I'm going to look for a horse in a stalking position. The 8, Just a Touch. He stalked the pace in the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes. He took the lead and he tired. Wow. It was his first time around 2 turns. If this race were just about how the horses look physically, nobody beats Just a Touch. He is Adonis amongst this group. He hasn't run like Adonis yet, but I think he's going to step forward on Saturday. But if you're out there thinking, is there going to be a fast pace? Should I look at some closers? I would say absolutely.
Yeah, it's the second time we've heard that horse, someone liking that horse a lot.
Exotics, boys and girls.
Yeah, going into the exotics. All right, Todd, my last one for you. If I'm a novice and I just want to go bet the Kentucky Derby? What's a play that I can make that's very simple, and how do I tell the guy at the counter so I don't screw up the bet?
Well, I think that is the greatest question, because so often we give out picks and then we just kind of leave it at that. And then the best is like last year, I gave out May, so it was a good year at the Kentucky Derby. And then you'll run into somebody who listened to your pick and they're like, I bet him the show. Like, no, what do you mean you bet him the show? You paid $32 to win. So first of all, don't ever bet the show. Let's start there. But I do think if you're a casual betting fan, there are at least a dozen pools that are tied into the Kentucky Derby. You can't get caught up in all of them. There's a 2-day pick 6. There's a 2-day pick 3. On the day on, there's a pick 3, a pick 4, a pick 5, and a pick 6. That's just horizontally. Vertically, you have win, play, show, you have exacta, you have trifecta, you have superfecta, you have super high 5. The key is, as you said, pick a couple of wagers and stick with that. Don't try and conquer everything. So either be a vertical player or be a horizontal player. For the casual person playing the Derby, be vertical. Bet a horse to win in place, and then look at the exacta, and you'll have plenty of action that way. I think the trifecta that you mentioned is great because you can play it for 50 cents. But when you get into superfectas and super high 5s, we're getting to the master class of betting. So for the casual person, pick your horse, bet that horse to win in place, and then take that horse, play that horse in an exacta or a trifecta. And remember, it's very simple. Look, if you're playing online, it's a different situation. But if you're at the track, you always walk up, you say the track that you're betting because there's simulcast. So you would say Churchill Downs. Then you say the race number, race 12. Then you say the amount of your wager, then the type of the wager. So you would say $2 exacta, and then you can box some horses, which means play all the combinations and the numbers, or you can play a part wheel. Yeah, I could do an entire seminar on the language.
Listen, I know we just met, but if I could reach through this camera, I would hug and kiss you right now and bring you to Las Vegas to train all of the people that I trained exactly that way. That's exactly the way you say a horse bet. Exactly. So go back and listen to that. Last one for me, sir. We'll let you out on this one. All right. So in this interview, we've had an uncomfortable testicle. You've told people to be either horizontal or vertical. Okay. So people are going to remember all this, but they also need to know, what is your ensemble on Saturday? Do you have a hat and suit combo? I mean, you got to ramp it up. It's the Kentucky Derby, sir.
I got to tell you, Oaks Day is going to be kind of my, the late Craig Sager, kind of a nod to him. I'm going to have a carnation pink jacket. And then the person who put my outfit together for both days is making me wear a bow tie. I have tried to get out of it. I can't get out of it. It's not one I'm going to tie. It's going to be a pre-tied bow tie.
That's fine.
Okay.
I have no idea how this is going to go. I kind of have a large neck. I think this bow tie is going to, I don't know what this bow tie is going to look like. So, yeah, pink on Friday, and then on Saturday, kind of a light green. But the real key to the outfit is this bow tie. I'm so scared of what this is going to look like.
I'm pro bow tie. Looking forward to watching it, sir. Todd, thank you for coming on. We appreciate your time this week. Enjoy tomorrow. Enjoy Saturday.
Hey, I love your guys' show. You do a great thing for the gambling public, and I thank you for letting horse racing be a part of it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Todd. Touch up from FNO TV joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book, and we're going straight from one to the next. We're going in, Dave. Rapid fire. We're going from the Derby right into Dimitri. Look at the setup this pro guy has. Dimitri Rapidos from Barrett Sports Media joining us for the first time. I don't know if I've ever talked to you, dude. I've known, and you guys, we've gone back and forth on Instagram, Twitter, all sorts of things, but welcome to the show. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Back in the SB Nation radio days, you used to come on right after me. I'm pretty sure we said hello.
Hi.
I think we met at a Super Bowl one year.
Ooh, possible. 100%.
I think. But just like you, right? You media folks, you go to the Super Bowl and on Radio Row, especially for the business I was in, the consulting side, you lose track of everybody. I'm positive though. And here's the other crossover we have, Matt. In addition to all that, didn't you work in Alabama for a while?
Correct.
God.
Yes.
Here we go.
WMP, the ump in 730. You were in Bama?
You were up in North Alabama.
I was in Huntsville. Yeah.
Okay. Well, right over there is my degree from the University of Alabama. As you can see, the office is painted
What year did you graduate?
03.
I was there. That's
yeah.
I covered those teams.
Okay, so then you understand why I tell people that everything Nick Saban did was owed to me, because the 4 years I was on campus, we had 4 different football coaches.
I tried telling Dave. I was there for 5 years. I saw 4 coaches.
Yep.
I had lunch with Mike Price the day before he went to Pensacola and did his fun thing down there with the Pensacola people.
All right, Matt, you have met the one person who can top you. Okay, are you ready for this?
Yes.
So that was my last semester. So I was in all blow-off classes. I was a film major. All my classes were blow-off classes, but that one specifically, that semester, I was in all blow-off classes. One of them was marriage and family psychology. And our guest speaker
was Mike Price.
The day before the Sports Illustrated.
No way.
Yes. That is tremendous. Talk about being a hypocrite. Oh my gosh. Well, we're having Dimitri on because he has penned this awesome story on Dave on BarrettSportsMedia.com right now. Meet the Betters, Dave Sherapan, the Bostonian versus the book. So we had to get him on to have this conversation because, one, the piece is awesome. And, I'll say it because Dave's not going to talk about himself. I thought you captured Dave perfectly. For people who don't know him, the story is incredible. Your lead, Dave Sherapan, should be dead.
Tried to kill me.
It's like, I read that.
Kill me, Dimitri.
The first thing I read this.
It was a line of triumph.
Oh my God, that was amazing. I was like, Dave Sherapan should be dead. Well, here we go. We're going straight, no chaser. Like, here's the shot.
Yeah,
it was great,
man. No, seriously. So I said it to my wife, and she read it, and I said, "What did you think?" And she goes, "I was worried after the opening line." She said, "I thought it was going to have a different spin. You told me you talked to this guy and you talked to him for a while and you were very encouraged after you talked to him." And I said, "It was pretty good though, wasn't it?" And she's like, "Yeah, I got to go to work." So I couldn't even impress the wife, Dimitri. But yeah, no, I just wanted to tell you, thank you. One, yeah, I thought you did a great job. It was Jack Ham, not Jack Kemp.
Oh, yeah. I need to go back and check
that's
that.
okay. Jack Ham, linebacker. But you're doing this series.
Yeah.
What has been a takeaway or two, not just from the one you did with me, but you talked to Costas, you talked to Kelly, you talked to Felica, what anything in particular in all of these conversations where you go, see the way this is all going, or wow, there's a lot of people that maybe didn't know this. I don't know, anything coming to your mind?
Do you know what the number one thing is? And it's because you, Felica, Kelly, Costos, and I think Ariel Epstein, who that one is going to be published a little bit later, but I've already spoken with her. You all use the same word to describe gambling Twitter. You all use the word cesspool. That is the one thing that has really jumped out to me. Is it's interesting to hear everybody describe how the betting community specifically. I don't think it's fair to say like Twitter is holding feet to the fire, because that's not what it is, right? Like gambling Twitter has just made it easy for someone that places a bad bet to put the onus on someone other than themselves, right? And look, that's why I try to not, whenever I place a bet, and I bet almost exclusively college football, because I made the mistake of emotionally betting the NCAA tournament when I hadn't watched college basketball all year long. But I thought for sure, I know what I'm talking about. I try not to look at advice. I try to just look at numbers. And, Dave, the way you said that you are never going to tell on this show, you'll never tell somebody, this is what I like, or what you're doing I don't like. You will always tell them, here is the case for +7 and here is the case for -7, without passing judgment. I think that kind of stuff is really more helpful than putting your name on, here are my lead pipe lots that we were so used to for so long, right?
No more lead pipe.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So since we're doing corrections, we should do a correction, because you were asking Dave about the rundown on the show. And I was waiting for the answer from one Mr. Sheriff. Do you know that Dave, when we go, he's so good, he doesn't know what we're talking about till the show starts. Legitimately. He opens the rundown. There's the rundown. He's that good that he doesn't need to prep. He just goes, okay, and we roll every day. That's how the show unfolds.
See, Dave, you asked what I've taken away from all of these conversations. One thing that is true across a lot of people is exactly that, Matt. Like, if you spend your life with the numbers and trying to understand why a line or why an over-under is what it is, you don't really have to look at reference. You've done so much study, you could spit it right back to people.
Yeah. And I also, like, when you live the life, I say that all the time. Like, this is just like, what did you do today? I woke up and looked at the odd screen, and then I looked at this, and then I had to catch up a little bit on the Garcia stuff, which we're going to address later, and how that affects the betting, because I saw, because I was busy with the baseball game yesterday, and I saw that he failed a drug test, which made the integrity of taking the bets or making the bets completely out the window. Are you surprised, Dimitri, of the relationship of the leagues, and like there's so many things that are just sponsored by the books, like everybody's together, where there used to be a clear division of church and state, and now everybody's together?
Yeah, no, not at all, because nobody owns a team or becomes commissioner of the league out of a goodness of their heart, right? Like, they are all looking for those new revenue streams. I do wonder, you and I talked a little bit about this, even though it didn't make the article itself. I do wonder if there is at least going to be some posturing about, quote unquote, reining the books in when it comes to like props and things like that. I think the horse is out of the barn, though. I don't really see how leagues are going to go back on these agreements now. But no, I'm not surprised at all, because one thing that we are seeing in the media space is, like, I tell this story all the time. My son is 12 years old, right? He is a little Greek kid. So, of course, one of his favorite basketball players is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Of course.
So we were in Phoenix as part of a family road trip the year that the Suns and the Bucks played in the finals. And we happened to be in Phoenix the night of game 2. And I said, buddy, I'm not making any promises. We got to talk to mom, but would you like to go downtown and see if we can find a cheap ticket for the game?
Hello.
And his response was, well, why? The highlights will be on YouTube tomorrow.
Wow.
And he's 12. But he's not the young end of people that, or I'm sorry, he's the young end of people that think like that, not the old end. So anything that actually gives you a reason to be more invested in the game, all of these sports need right now. And as powerful as it is, as popular as it is, no one needs it more than the NFL, because we aren't making a lot of new football players, which means we are making a lot fewer new football fans without, something like betting being a part of this.
You guys at Barrett Sports Media, Jason Barrett, who started the company, now does both news and sports talk. The radio industry, I spent 20 years in it, and I chose to leave it to go work with Dave. You guys are talking to people around the country. Sports betting and the sports betting contracts that have been signed by these books around the country are now being scrutinized. We saw one that came out from Caesars where they owe millions up until 2040 to the leagues, to the teams, and all the broadcast partners as well. When you're talking to GMs, when you guys are talking to people in the radio world, did the boom hit the way that they thought it was going to hit, or did it fall short as to what they were expecting?
It's a really good question, Matt, because you've got to look from market to market right now. And look, not to toot my own horn, I'm the right person to ask about this because I live in North Carolina, where we just went legal for mobile betting, a month and a half ago?
Are you getting any ads, sir? Or any pop-ups, things like this?
So
a little bit?
Here's what's interesting, Dave. Obviously, yes, we are getting some, but I am not inundated the way I was when I was up in New York, say, when they went legal. Like I've lived in North Carolina for 20 years, but I would have to go to New York regularly. Matt, that's, that's where Jason is. So that's where the company is run out of. And there is a part of me that wonders if going forward, states that are not Texas and California and Florida, if they ever open up to more operators, I wonder if you're going to see less money if you're not one of those big states, with all of these books now focusing on customer retention as opposed to recruiting new customers. is it important that someone like, say, DraftKings spend a lot of money in Raleigh, North Carolina, or is it better to spend that money retaining players in Brooklyn, retaining players in Boston, in bigger markets like that? Out of the gate, Matt, yeah. I mean, I thought for a long time that all of the gambling money that there was, we were about to see a boom of stations making the flip to sports radio to take advantage of it. But now there is still a lot of money being spent, but it is not the same as it was. Like I'll tell you a state that really, really cashed in at the right time by going legal was Tennessee, because having grown up in that part of the country, Tennessee is the kind of place where, like, there are Republicans and then there are Jesus Republicans, right? And Jesus Republicans ran the state. Like, it was crazy to me to think that they would ever let sports betting in. And they legalized at the time when the books were still spending like crazy. North Carolina's not getting the benefit that Tennessee did.
Huh.
Doesn't mean we're not getting any. It just means to that level.
Right. Okay. You're a college football guy, self-admittedly.
Yes.
You like college football betting. Do you like college football prop betting? Because it's already starting to kind of go the way of, well, we got to do something. And the books are like, okay, we'll give up the college football prop betting. Do you like college football prop betting?
I do, because I mean, look, I'm wearing a University of Hawaii hat right now. And, I pointed out my Alabama degree. That is my Florida International degree. So I've got teams all up and down that I love. And I find if I'm betting Hawaii, if I'm betting FIU, if I'm betting the Sun Belt, I just, with my knowledge of watching, can look at props where it's like, oh, that's way off. Like, he's definitely going over, or he's definitely going under the number that was given. So I do like them. I think that the books are very well researched at the Power 5 level. But I think you can find good value if you really love the sport. You can find good value and favorable lines at the G5 level.
And sorry if I keep on going back to radio, because it's just, I love talking about the industry as to where we are, because I'm so upset with where radio has gone and where radio is going. Do you feel like the medium, in particular on the sports side of things, are we where is it? Like, give me a diagnostic on sports radio across the country, because it feels like it's very sick outside of like the mega big markets of Boston, Chicago, and New York.
And that's what's so frustrating, Matt, because radio will always have a place, particularly sports radio will always have a place, because as much as, like I work with a company here, we do a big local sports podcast, and they are going to record an episode. They're going to do a live episode after every game the Canes play in the Stanley Cup playoffs, right? Oh, the listener still has to do some effort to get that. It's not you just put on, 100.4, whatever the frequency is right there in the morning. So I think sports radio will always have a place. I think sports is going to be stronger in the future than any other format, because, and look, I worked in rock formats, I worked in political talk, and then I worked in sports talk. What need do I have for a rock station in a world where this means I don't have to sit through all the songs I hate, right? Yep. And then when it comes to political talk, go to any locally staffed news talk station around the country. They're talking Trump and Biden. They're not focused on the local topics. Whereas here in Raleigh the other day, if you weren't talking about the Canes eliminating the Islanders, it was a little bit like, what are you doing kind of thing. Yep. But Matt, to your point, if these companies, and there are only 3 companies that own the majority of sports radio stations in America, if they don't see the format for what it is, for the value proposition that exists in the format, then it's never going to be treated the right way.
Are the Canes going to win the Stanley Cup? While we're on the subject, I mean, is the buzz around there like that they're going to win the Stanley Cup?
You are asking the wrong person.
That's perfect. That's why that's why I'm asking you, because
there is
there, but like the locals do. Is that a hockey market? Let's put it that way, Dimitri, because we live in Vegas,
right?
And the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
And the Hurricanes have done it, but like,
it's been a while.
They're the favorite. They're the odds-on favorite.
Right. And the last time this was true was when they won the Cup in 2006. And not only is the parallel that they were the favorites, but if you'll recall, in 2006 at the deadline, they went on a spending spree. Like
Yep.
they made it very clear we are playing for this year.
Yep.
And that was the first year I was in North Carolina, and I walked out of that year thinking, man, I love NHL hockey. And the next year I realized, no, I love winning the Stanley Cup. That's what's great. I mean, it's what I have been really impressed by is when they have not played their best game through two periods in these playoffs, man, just get ready for the third because all hell's about to break loose.
Yes.
And so if they can keep that up, I don't see a reason they can't win the Stanley Cup.
I like them a lot. My last one for you, and I'll let you give a plug for Barrett Sports Media for folks who don't know what the site is. I remember when Jason started it, and I remember he left becoming a program director and a very successful program director in San Francisco to go and start this company, and it's been wildly successful, so much so that he's doing now multiple different iterations of Barrett Sports Media. But if someone hasn't gone to the website before, what do you guys do? What do you cover, and what are they going to see when they go there?
Yeah, so Barrett Sports Media is everything sports media. I'm talking, radio, television, podcast, you name it. And it is everything from new contract deals, new hirings, firings to, hey, here is something that is interesting that, radio host X said today about, another radio host, the way a game is covered, something like that. So that's at barrettsportsmedia.com. We have news, we have columnists. I do my stuff like I did with Dave every Thursday. I write an opinion piece every Tuesday. I think, Matt, you and I one time got into a fight about an opinion piece I wrote on social
I
media.
believe that.
Not
Actually,
shocking
I 100%
Not shocking at all.
No, I mean, listen, I remember it just because it happened, but I'm a big believer in if it happened on social media, like who fucking cares? Sorry.
Right.
Dude.
You can swear.
That's fine. You can swear. That's
Say whatever you
true.
want. That's the beauty of the show.
Okay. Yeah.
The guy said testicle in his last interview. Say whatever you want.
I think there's a big difference between fuck and testicles, right?
Not little.
Not this show.
Not
I mean,
much.
one is very necessary for the other, but
Yes.
yeah.
Very
So that's
true. We can put that on the t-shirt. One is very necessary for the other. Very good. I like
the barrettnewsmedia.com. It's the same thing on the news side. I will be completely honest with you though. I've burned out completely on political talk. What happens over there? I don't know. I haven't visited the site in about a year and a half.
Don't blame you.
All right, I'll leave you with this. One, have you seen the Dave and Buster stuff and like what's going on with they're gonna do gambling and other things? Like you got a 12-year-old, they're gonna try to get strangers to gamble with other strangers like on skee ball or anything like that. If you haven't, that's fine. But number two, do you like mint juleps? Is that a Southern drink? Because Matt is insisting that this mint julep thing is a Southern drink and he likes it. I don't. What say you?
I think that my part of the South, and even though like I've lived in North Carolina for 20 years, like a lot of my tastes were shaped by growing up in Alabama. I think we're too south for mint juleps. Mint juleps strike me as a Carolinas, Tennessee, and obviously Kentucky kind of thing.
I don't blame you. Dreamland trips over under in your college career. How many?
I would say over 10 for sure.
I would have put it higher than that.
Is it as
But
good
here's
as
the
this
thing.
guy says it is, Dimitri?
It is, but it's not the best barbecue in the area. I'm a Golden Rule kind of guy myself. But here's the thing about Dreamland. Here's why it's not bigger, Matt. Dreamland, the original location in Tuscaloosa?
Tuscaloosa, yeah.
Dude, crazy expensive. Crazy expensive.
Oh, wow.
By barbecue standards. Also, the original location is like in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Now.
I took a girl there on a date, and I could see in her face as we were driving, she was very worried about what was about to happen.
All I know is the first time I went there on an Alabama game day, there were 2 cops outside the door. And I looked at my friend who lived in Tuscaloosa, and I said, "Where are we going?" And he goes, "On game day, they get really rowdy. We got to be careful. The cops need to be here." I was like, "It's a barbecue joint. Why are there cops here?" It's like, yeah, you'll understand once you get in there and realize it. So, yeah, it's a very, very fun place. Dimitri, thank you for joining us. This was awesome. Appreciate your time. Thanks for writing that about Dave. Yep. Really, really cool piece. Go read it on Barrett Sports Media right now. Dimitri's piece on Dave. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, boys, thank you so much. Anytime, just ask. I'm happy to hop on.
Awesome. Dimitri Ravenos from Barrett Sports Media joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Awesome stuff with him. That was tremendous. Really fun stuff. Let me get the banners right so we can get everything corrected. Sorry.
Man, what a show so far. I mean,
we're rolling here. Oh, no, that's right. That's right. We're on the right spot.
Incredible.
There we go. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, so we're flying here. That was awesome. I just have to recap for a second because we'll go back and talk about both. The Todd's backdrop might have been the best backdrop in the history of the show.
I can't think of another one. I mean,
he had the Twin Spires behind him at Churchill Downs.
That was amazing.
I mean, for like iconic things, trying to think, like we've had obviously the Met Stadium, we've had different like ballpark shots, we've had people who have been at books, we've had people who have been at sporting events or like just around in their offices, but like the Twin Spires, like those things are iconic.
He was right. He was it right there. The background. I mean, it was amazing. And he talked about I mean, I can't wait to rewatch the interview. The horizontal, the vertical, the uncomfortable testicle. We got a whole slew of things to cut and clip from that.
So good.
It was great.
Uncomfortable testicle. That was, yes. And then Dimitri laying the first F-bomb of the day. Not you or me. That had to have been a huge dog.
Might be the first time ever that we cashed a swear prop on the guest. Right?
F-bomb, too. Not just a swear, but an F-bomb.
Come out. Say it with your chest, Dimitri. He did.
Tremendous.
He mustered it up. He wasn't sure. He's got laryngitis. God,
didn't sound like it.
Voice.
Yeah, he didn't sound like it. I was like, "Where's the laryngitis?" I should have asked that. Where's the laryngitis? Because he sounds phenomenal. Like
I was like, if you got laryngitis today, what do you normally sound like? Barry White?
Yeah, he
what
said
was
great voice.
that?
Yeah, I mean, and Jason Barrett is a dude that I interviewed with Jason Barrett when he was the PD in St. Louis. And it's funny the people that you meet and I ended up staying in contact with him. They went with a different host to work in St. Louis, but we stayed in contact for years. He went to San Francisco. We stayed in contact there. And then he went and started Barrett Sports Media. And now we see him at the Super Bowl and we see him all over the place. So it's really fun to bump into him. And, I'm on the site every day. I'm a media radio, junkie. I love the stuff. I love seeing radio reports.
You got me hooked on it a little bit now.
It's a fun place to go.
We talk about this stuff all the time. Yep. So it's a great site for that. Got to meet Jason in person this year. We met him in LA the first
time. I thought the second time you met him because he knows you by name. It's not like
we met in LA and then we met again in Phoenix, but then we got to actually talk this time in Vegas. We got to get to that summit at some point.
In New York. Yeah, I'd love to. It's just
they alternate coasts. Maybe we'll do it when it's on the West Coast.
Right. I'm just so mad at the industry. Like my anger my anger towards the radio industry is like I don't want to get into a room with all the people responsible for making radio what it is. Like I want to yell at all of them. Like I feel like I need to be like, sensible woman and take a flamethrower to this place. Like so I don't want to blame them. I blame them all. Like I blame all of you. Like it's all your fault. Like all of you did this. Like that's the biggest brass, all the top level guys, the heads of content and the heads of brands, as they call it now across the country for sports radio. And I'm just like, you're all to blame. Like you all did this. Like you all created this environment that's driving people out of the medium consistently because you keep on doing this over and over again and thinking it's going to change. Like it's not 1995 anymore, guys. Like it's a different world now. And that's the website's perfect because it's covering like in Jason, if he was here, I think he would say this because I think they're doing it too. They're pivoting to doing other things because they see what's going on with radio.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, we got to cover the podcast shows. We got to cover the streaming shows.
Yep.
It's not just about the radio world anymore.
We'll see if Jason can come on actually and even discuss that and let you two radio nerd junkies go back and forth over this in the business because he'll probably, zing it back after zag and it'll be entertaining conversation. Real quick 20-second timeout. I wanted to shout out Thirsty Thursdays at Hennessy's in Seal Beach. So I just got the text right now. No, we're up on the big screens.
Hi guys.
They put us
bar mentions.
They put us all up in the screens right now.
Thank you.
Susan, Taylor, and Rachel are serving up the drinks to all the patrons. And our guy Gio the Wop's there hanging out, brought some friends in, and they said, we watch this show at this time every week. Can you put it on all the TVs? I got these beautiful pictures just now that
Oh,
were
no.
up on all the screens. I had to shout them out.
I wish I could put this on the screen, but I can't just yet. You're going to spend a lot of money soon. Like a lot of money soon.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of the Tri-City Chili Peppers?
Tri-City Chili Peppers. Is that a hockey team or
It's a baseball team. They play in the Coastal Plain League. It's in Virginia. It might be near Mikey.
Just what we
They're
need.
going to play the first ever cosmic baseball game.
Oh, gosh.
Glow in the dark uniforms, and the lights will be all black lights.
Really?
Black light baseball, black light bat, black light uniforms. The whole
Oh.
game is under a black light.
How you see the ball?
The ball is is the same thing. It's glow in the dark.
I understand, but I mean, it's still dark. It's going to be, I don't know. There's going to be shadows. I don't, as a coach and a parent and a thing, I'm thinking about how somebody's going to get hit in the face with the ball.
Glow
Bad
in the
humps,
dark uniforms.
put you in uncomfortable testicle range. It bounces up. Things like that happen. I don't know. I'm not sold yet. But the uniforms are cool.
Oh, the uniforms are sweet.
Oh, God.
They're really
There we go.
sweet. They
Great.
look under a black light. They look really cool. They look, yeah, you'll be investing at least in the hat. How about that? You'll buy the hat. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, that's
you'll
part of my
have
favorite
that.
thing about today. The hat thing is just completely out of control. It's
All right, we'll get to the rundown because we haven't talked about much. The Celtics destroyed the Heat in Game 5. Boston advances now to the next round. Miami, I thought you wanted Boston. I thought you were chanting, "We want Boston."
Here we go. Where's my listening glasses? I
thought
was
you-
waiting for this part of the show. Go
I
ahead,
thought,
sir.
I thought you were chanting, "We want Boston."
They were.
You guys wanted Boston. What happened? You laid down like literally in 3 straight games.
They
like-
went horizontal.
It was a closeout game, and you were
Night,
down by
night.
35 points.
Night.
35 points. And I have to ask you, Mr. Bookmaker, what in the holy, sorry, Will, fuck was that line yesterday
Bang!
in the first half? What was that? 55 and a half. So let me just reset that for a second. The Boston Celtics averaged about 62 points per game in the first half all year at home.
They do.
Boston scored over 60 points in game 1 and game 2.
Game 1 and
In game 2, they scored 71 points, I believe it was, in the first half.
71.
They put up 55 and a half yesterday, minus 110, both sides. It was one of the lowest Celtics team totals of the year. They scored 41 in the first quarter. There's a miss, and then there's like an, oh
who's
my
responsible
God.
for that number?
They scored 68 points, Boston did in the first half against Miami.
Who's responsible for that number?
I don't know. You tell me.
You're going to have to get to the bottom of that. Who put that number up? It was
One
not a
of the
good
worst
number.
numbers, only because I watch that market all the time. Like that.
We talked about it on this show for
Yes.
6 months.
I've been betting it all the time. Who put
You
that
brought it
number
up in October, and we literally have people going to thebvbshow.com and getting in a Discord, talking about it here at symbol Boston versus the book in the chat. Every time the Celtics play, just say thank you and move on. Damn right, Jay Dow. That's what you do. That's all you have to do. Now, will this continue? I don't think we're going to see a 55 and a half.
Bet Rivers was 54 and a half. 54 and a half. Who did this?
Boy, football guy 97.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, what are we doing? That was like
setup job.
serious setup job. Oh my gosh. And then the second game was equally embarrassing. It's a 30-point win for Dallas on the road. At least Boston was at home. This was Dallas at LA. What was that last night?
Our friend Tommy the Lip, he texts when the Clippers win. He mysteriously didn't text
Disappears.
yesterday. I landed from Oakland and I'm driving home, check the score, and there's another Tommy in town that we're trying to get all together. So it's me and Tom. Dave, Tom, and Tom. It's pretty
Lorenzo
funny
or someone
when we all
else?
get together because I have to call Tommy the Lip,
Okay.
because I can't say Tom because they both look.
Term, right? Yeah.
And we have a text thread, and I said, "Did anybody see the Clippers score? What's going on? Don't worry about it. They're going to win Game 6.
Really?
They are. What
Really?
did you see from that game that would make you think they're going to win Game 6?
No idea.
Is that a
Especially-
wrap?
I don't know if it's a wrap in the way that like
It's
we're talking
8.
about it, but
-8, 7.5. Hello.
wow. I don't know. That's one of those like, excuse me type scores. Like, what did they do? With Kawhi, without Kawhi, going into the game, they were asking, are the Clippers better without Kawhi Leonard? Like that was being asked on the talk shows.
Some of the conversations at this point in time, like
Yep.
you got to, I mean, you still got to do a show,
Right.
but you're not really, there's a lot of people probably doing it that aren't watching the game. And there's other people that are like, doing stuff. They're probably listening to the Daily Juice the night before, getting some ideas for some things, or, watching us and then going on some shows tonight and getting some ideas for some things. I don't know what idea it was to bet the Clippers yesterday. Oh, that's a bad idea.
Home dog. The line was 3. They won by 30. It's one thing to win. Won by 30. Game was never even just like Boston. It was never even a question. It was over from the opening quarter.
Yeah.
And then we go to the other Dallas team.
Hello.
Stars.
Hello.
Who are now up 3-2 in their series against Vegas. Vegas has now lost 3 straight games. They were up 2-0. Now they're down 3-2.
Yes, they are.
So this is a problem for coaches because Logan Thompson played his tail off, but lost both games at home. It wasn't his fault they lost both games at home. So they put Aiden Hill in, who wasn't awful. He gave up 2 first period goals and then the game winner late, but he wasn't awful. Second period, he settled down and got his wits about him. But what do you do in game 6? Do you play Aiden Hill or do you play Logan Thompson?
Did you guys run that video with you and Wetzel yesterday that I
You
sent?
did. Yes.
I was laughing because
it hit. The parlay hit.
I checked the goalies while I was in the stadium in Oakland as the game was ending before I shot the video. And I went, they're starting Hill? It wasn't Logan Thompson's fault. Guy stood on his head. He played great. They won the first 2 games with him on the road. We're going back on the road after losing 2. I thought the most stable thing they had was Logan Thompson in net. We didn't got to worry about this. And I thought that opened up a whole thing of, like, if we're in the other locker room, just like in the movie Miracle when it talked about, he pulled Tretiak, put Michigan in. He put Michigan in. Now we really got him. That's the way I would have. I thought Dallas is live to win, not just game 5, but they're going to come here and win game 6.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the first period was crazy. I thought the way the first period went, well, all right, it's going to be the Knights are going to have to win this thing 4-3, 5-4, something like that. And then I got on a plane. I had to go to sleep because I was in the sun all day and talking and doing all this other stuff. And I came home and saw the highlights. Did it feel like a 3-2 game to you?
I mean, I thought Vegas was holding on the entire time. Like it was 1-0 Vegas, and then it was 1-1, and then it was 2-1 Dallas, and then it was 2-2. And then the third period, second period was basically nothing. And then the third period, it just if I'm a Golden Knights fan, I'm really concerned. I do think Vegas wins game 6, though. I think we're going to a game 7.
Okay.
I just don't know who they're going to play in net. I think it's Bruce Cassidy is in a pickle here as to who he's going to play in net, because my gut says play Aiden Hill. If you're going to go to him, you got to ride him. And that's what that happened last year. They inserted him and he won a cup. So like he's trying to replay the magic of last year, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen again. I would have stuck with Logan Thompson. I wouldn't have played Aiden Hill last night. I don't think Logan was the problem.
It's such a different thing, like within the room, like just one little move like that. I mean, it's a big move, but like without explanation, you're left wondering, what are we doing? Like there's probably somebody on the bench going, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Like we don't need, we'll be fine.
And there were power plays. I mean, it was like the referees were whistle happy last night. I mean, every time I looked up was power play. Both sides. There were so many power plays. Game stayed under, amazingly.
Again, you get another under 3-2. No empty net, nothing. I don't know. We got a whole day to talk about it and think about it. So that's good. But I don't know. I don't think the city and everybody is ready for a first round exit after the cup run last year. Like this
no,
is not,
and it'll sting. For the casual,
that will leave a mark.
It will sting because you win the cup and then you don't go and defend it, and you get, you're up 2-0 and you get blown out in the last, you lose. Even a game 7 loss will sting, but you can justify it on the road to lose game 7. Losing game 6 at home, that won't sit very well here. I mean, that's going to be an upset fan base and probably an upset owner at the way that it went. So it'd be wild to see. And then the late game, Oilers win 4-3. They win the series 4-1. Wasn't really a series. Like game 1 and 2 were okay, but then it was just all Edmonton.
Yeah.
I mean, that third goal with 4 minutes to play, if you were on puck line Oilers last night, that stunk. I was on the under 6.5. That stunk. Like it was just a meaningless goal. And it was like, son of a, come on, man. That I thought we were going to be good with a 4-2 final, but 4-3 final, Oilers advance.
Are you ready to advance the Oilers past the winner of the other series?
Look, I picked Edmonton, Carolina in the Cup at the beginning of the year. Going to stay with Edmonton, Carolina. Same theory. So, yes, I do think they're going to get past the next series, and I do think they got a legitimate shot at making the Cup finals. I mean, they can be the representative that Canada's dreaming of to get to the Cup finals.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that was the easy series, short series, whatever that they
take care of
needed
business.
that.
Yep.
And they got it, and they got timely goaltending. They got McDavid being McDavid. 1 goal, 11 assists. Make everybody better.
Right.
Use the help you got. You don't have to carry the team by scoring the goals. Do what you do. He's magic. I mean, he is the best player, and they have a really, really good team. That's going to be – I was already trying to make the prices for the next series. Like try to think, how big of a favorite is Edmonton going to be? Because when you look at the odds now, they've jumped. Some books, they're the second choice. Carolina, then Edmonton, then Florida and the Rangers, and now Dallas is the second choice or the third choice in the West, along with Colorado. So the Edmonton stock is on the rise.
Like it. I like it a lot. Before we get to what's happening for boxing, I'll give you a quick rundown. Giants are up 3-1 on the Red Sox. That game in the top of the 8th. The Orioles lead the Yankees 7-2. That game in the bottom of the 8th. I'm on the Cubs money line. It's 5-5, bottom 8. At the Mets. The Cubs had a nice lead in that game and they blew it. Rangers are up 3-0 on the Nationals. The Marlins beat the Rockies again, 5-4. It's a 2-14 road record for the Rockies, but a run line win for the Rockies. But fading the Rockies on the road this year is going to be very profitable. They cannot beat anybody on the road. They're one of the worst, if not the worst team in Major League Baseball on the road. So, Ryan Garcia tested positive before his fight. Now, if you're wondering why are we talking about this, because it's not a normal topic for us to get into it, but it is somewhat of a significant topic. Devin Haney released a statement yesterday after Ryan Garcia tested positive for performance-enhancing substances before and the day before and the day of the fight. Haney's statement to ESPN saying, quote, "We learned about this situation not too long ago, and it's unfortunate Ryan cheated and disrespected both the fans and the sport of boxing by fighting dirty and breaking positive not once but twice. I've always been an advocate for clean fighting, and this is an example of such. Ryan owes the fans an apology, and by his recent tweet, he still thinks this is a joke. We put our lives on the line to entertain people for a living. You don't play boxing. This puts the fight in a completely different light. Despite the disadvantage, I still fought on my shield and got back up. People die in this sport. This isn't a joking manner." Devin Haney here. The reason why this is a story to me, Dave, is that we don't yet know, was it true that Ryan Garcia bet $2 million on himself to win the fight? Because if he was using a PED, he claimed it came from a substance like they all do, like it was just a over-the-counter mistake that he made with a protein powder of some sort that got him this pop positive. Don't buy that for a second.
Yeah.
But he came in 3 pounds overweight on purpose. He was using PEDs in some form or fashion. To what extent, we don't really know. But from a book perspective, if you paid this out, you paid him $12 million.
I'm steaming.
Right?
I'm steaming. again, one of the unique things about the show is you're always looking at things from the better standpoint, and I'm always looking at things from the book standpoint first. That's the way I've looked at this business, always from, the back end of the counter this way, and you're looking at it from the front end of the counter this way. And I'm catching up, and I'm looking, I'm in the run, in the rundown, and I'm like, what the hell? We paid all this money out. And I immediately thought, I want my money back. Like, who made this number? You told us you were going to be, fighting. Then it was a no title. You were overweight. The number steamed. We took a lot of gigantic bets.
Yeah, now it's a no contest. I mean, he's going to it's going to get voided. The win will be voided. So he would have voided the belts anyway. But that's why he came in 3 pounds over. He was cheating.
The money's gone.
So he didn't care. Right. Once he won the money.
From the book standpoint, the money's gone, and he got them. If he bet it and he got it, what does he care at this point?
What precedent does this set?
I started to even think about it for 5 minutes, and I went, now what? Now what? How do we do this now? What precedent does it set? I know this. If we got a BVB book and we're running it, I'm asking you, because you're in a box. Like, I'm like, P-Roll, we need to find out everything we need to know and then some before we put this up and take these bets. And I might have to add to the house rules. We might have to wait. Like, the NASCAR betting is for the official results after they test the cars and all that other stuff.
Uh-huh.
Are we going to have to wait to pay out boxing?
Interesting thought. I mean,
we got to wait a week. You can bet the fight on Saturday. You ain't getting paid till Saturday the following week. Either way.
Well, because here's the thing everyone's been talking about. Like, they knew he tested positive, but they don't tell anybody till after the fact. It happens with the UFC as well. Like, they test positive and they let the event go off. Because if they don't, if they step in and say, we can't have the event, everyone that's bought tickets, everyone that's booked hotel rooms, everyone that's bought the pay-per-view, it's all gone. So they can't tell you ahead of time that they know the fighter's dirty. So Ryan Garcia tested positive the day before.
Hold on 20-second time. How far in advance?
They knew 24 hours in advance that he was dirty. He tested positive twice. They tested 2 samples. He tested positive the morning before and the morning of the fight. So the commission knew he was dirty. They let it go. So the question would be, if Devin Haney got killed in the ring by a guy on a PED, what do you do? Okay, what do you do with that, right? Who's liable? Who let it go? Who allowed? Because the same thing happened with John Jones in his fight against Daniel Cormier, where it was a pictogram, but he still tested positive for an illegal substance after the fact. So he has a no contest on his resume because he won the fight, but then he tested positive and they came and stripped the belt. So this is the problem with the sport. Okay. This is the problem with dirty fighting and what someone could take advantage of, because if you're able to bet on yourself, I can't bet on, he didn't want the belts. He didn't care about the belts. He was always going up in weight. So this was a fight for pride, for money. He just wanted to beat Devin Haney. So he came in overweight. He cheated, got himself a PED, went and used it and got caught. He didn't care because they weren't going to cancel the fight. You cancel the fight, you got to refund all the money. So this is a big problem. The books pay out day of. They don't wait for this to all come back out. That, hell yeah, by the way, there's they do it all very legal. And, the people in charge of the testing, the doping agencies got to get it all, lawyered up because they don't get sued. So they wait a couple of days after the fight's over, and then they come on out with their findings as to, by the way, this boxer was found to be using a PED.
Can you imagine watching an NFL game and then Sunday it scores this, and then Monday they go, well, we're going to void the win and we're going to give it to the other guy because the quarterback was on something or whatever. Yep. What the hell? It's another
No,
frustrating
you
thing.
can't do it. You can't void the bet, CBW, because the books pay out the night of.
As soon as the result is announced,
official,
you put it in the computer, you verify it from one other source, or like in Nevada, you have to have two sources. Okay, ESPN.com and boxing.com, whatever it is, they both agree with what you just saw and said Garcia won. There's my one verification. There's my two. Put it in the system. Grade. It goes
Pay it
to
out.
all the tickets. Everything's paid. I mean, even if you're holding a Garcia ticket now, you go get paid. Even if it, gets overturned. I can't reverse it in the book. It's done. That's the frustrating part, man. Like I don't know. I don't know. And if you had Haney, how do you feel?
Furious, but he's keeping his belts. So, I mean, there's a debate on that, I guess, still as to whether or not he's going to have his belts or not. I mean, after the fight, they said he would. After a couple days later, said he would not. But this fight's not a loss on his record. He was an undefeated fighter. Now it's a no contest. So it doesn't go down as a loss. So you get that. You still have the O on your record.
But I have an L if I bet it.
Yeah, look, I had money on Haney too. I mean, I had Haney by knockout. So yeah,
see,
I'm with you. I mean, I had money on Haney too
because I had Haney. Yeah.
I mean, people are mad. People have a right to be mad, but it's this idea of allowing boxers or combat sports participants to bet on themselves. We saw it with Mayweather. We've seen other fighters. I mean, this is you're opening up a box that somebody with nefarious intentions can take advantage of. And if he did, and there's a big IF to that, okay? People have said, show me the ticket. And others have said, well, what if you bet it like in 5 different places? And what if you bet it with Jake Paul's book? And who knows what it was? He may not have bet it. He may just be blowing smoke. I mean, the whole thing was lying, but he did cheat.
At this point, that was the other thing I thought. He said he bet it, but I don't believe a word this guy says right now.
You can't, right? He's a liar. He's a pro. He's a professional liar. So you can't believe anything except he did cheat. He did come in overweight. I mean, what? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Why wouldn't he have bet it then? If he didn't bet it,
I'm not saying whatever he took made him win. Like that, I have
a PED is a PED. There's no way. It's illegal for a reason. The drug is on the banned substance list for a reason. So remember, this is a guy who has no gas tank. Ryan Garcia does not have a gas tank. So if you take and he went the full 12 rounds and he knocked Haney down, I believe in the 11th, well, the 10th or the 11th, late in the fight, he knocked him down.
Right.
So he still had enough pop in his punches late in the fight to knock him down. So what does that PED can do? It can open up, just like we saw with Lance Armstrong and other people who are in endurance sports. If your blood oxygen level, if you can process it faster and you can recover quicker, that's how you're cheating. That's how you're able to stay in a fight longer.
You get a motor when you don't have a motor.
So that, I mean, what I talked about it on Monday on the show. I was like, I can't believe he went 12 rounds. He didn't gas out. Yeah. That's not what he does. That's not Ryan Garcia. Now, he definitely took, rounds off. That's why Haney almost won on the cards. But the 3 rounds where he went fast, he knocked him down, and that's how he won the fight with the multiple knockdowns. But I don't know. I mean, did that PED help? I don't know what it does. I don't know how it affected him, but he was on something that was not allowed. Thus, it's a cheating situation.
Oh, man.
So, bad. Whole thing is bad. All the way around, bad.
A bad look, period. I can't
for everyone. Betting, boxing, everything. It's just not good. Not good at all. All right, Knicks and Philly tonight. This is a wild total, Dave. Okay, he was 201 and open, dropped down to 198, back up to 201 here with this. The Knicks and Philly, I mean, on the road, the Knicks have been an over team. At home, Philly's been an over team, and yet people like the under. Now they like the over. I don't know what to make of this, but does it end tonight?
Meaning the Knicks are going to win?
Correct.
I really thought that, excuse me, I thought they were going to win game 5, and they didn't.
Right.
And it came down to Philly last time, and they put Knicks jerseys on Dr. J's statue. You did what? Now what?
Well, now what? You have Rubenstein buying every free ticket available to make sure Knicks fans can't get in. Fanatics bought thousands of tickets for this game tonight.
That's great.
All the tickets on the secondary market, he just went in and bought them all. Said, Knicks fans, you're not getting in tonight.
It's actually kind of alarming that
I love it.
somebody can actually do that.
Awesome move.
I like the move, to be honest. Oh wow. Scott Foster's extending the series to make sure there's a Game 7 in MSG Saturday night. Nicky Caramello. Is he the official?
Yeah, I think he's in tonight.
I like the Sixers. Period. I didn't know that before.
Now you gotta love the Sixers.
I looked at the number and I thought, here we go. Right? Set it for Game 5. Take the Sixers on the money line. They're either going to win or the Knicks were going to cover. There wasn't no in between. You didn't have to take it. The same exact thing applies tonight. Knicks win, take the money line. You won't need the 3. And if you're watching it in game, you'll get more than 3. But if you think the Sixers are going to win, you lay it. I personally, right now, Embiid looked a little hobbled. Again, Game 5, it was like the last couple. I mean, that was Maxey hitting a bomb, a 4-point play, all this other stuff, but they were the better team in overtime, no question. I think the Sixers win. Do you?
Yes, I do. Is your helmet considered part of your body in baseball?
The context, you talk about things. Okay.
Phrasing matters.
Phrasing matters because you said, is your helmet part of it?
Yes.
I'm like, I leaned back like I just got a brush back. Where's he going with this?
Well, because Pete Crow Armstrong slid to second during the game against the Mets. His helmet fell off. So he grabbed it and he put the helmet on the base, and the rest of his body was off the base. Only thing touching the base was the helmet, and he was holding the helmet.
Did that count as safe?
Yes.
Huh.
And everyone's trying to go through the rule book saying, could you take your shoe off and hold your shoe on the bag?
Oh, don't even start. Now we're gonna extend yourself like, an appendage.
Yes.
Added.
So is your equipment part of your body?
No, I don't think so.
You said he's out.
If the only thing touching the base was his helmet,
yes, and he was
and
tagged.
he got tagged,
yes,
I'm going out to have a discussion with the second base umpire.
He was ruled safe.
Got to have a question. We got to have a discussion about that. I don't think that you have to be touching the base.
Oh, good point. Could you run with a bat? Could you run with your bat and then hold the bat? That's a good question.
KC, you're a baseball player. Don't start this.
That's interesting.
No, you cannot run with the bat. No, put it down. No. It was a big thing when the kids started playing ball. Everyone used to run with the bat.
Really?
No, you train them early. Like, look, put the bat down. Swing, hit the ball, put the bat down, and then run. We had to practice that. I don't want these guys running with a bat. It's a bad idea. You cannot run with the bat. Thank you, Jay Dow. My goodness.
You learned that at 7.
You do learn. That's just 7. That's what you tell them. 7 years old. Hit the bat, hit the ball, and then put it down.
So I don't know. Interesting thing happened in the Cub game. Milwaukee at Indiana. Indiana down to 6. It was 8. Now it's 6.
You know what that means?
Some love here for the Bucks.
Well, it's no love.
You don't think Giannis is playing? No.
Huh?
I don't think so. I think people are betting it because Doc Rivers became the first head coach in the history of the NBA to win a playoff game without his top 2 scorers.
One of those 2 is playing. That line movement. Dame is playing. Giannis is playing. One of them is playing. I don't think both are playing.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, that number, that stat has been everywhere now. It's a pretty big stat. Doc Rivers is good without superstars. It's wild. He stinks with good teams.
Rivers is good without superstars. What a weird thing.
He is. I mean, this win could keep his
they
job.
got a guy named Giannis who's a pretty big superstar.
Right. This could
and
keep his job.
Got Dame Lillard there this year.
Right. But this stat could keep his job. Winning a game, first coach in the history of the NBA playoffs to be out with top 2 scorers to win a game. In the history of the league. Oh, okay. There you go. Bolt was questionable. Lillard upgraded to
but
questionable.
Lillard was upgraded to questionable.
Bolt's going to try to give it a go pregame warmups. Nikki, thank you on that.
Thank you, Nikki Cermello. Wow.
So, it said Giannis might be very close to returning. Okay. So we'll see. He plays tonight.
What does this number go to?
If Giannis plays 4, 3.5.
Under 2 buckets. Yeah. Goes to 3.5.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah. Goes to 3.5.
I still like Indiana, even if Giannis plays.
Close out tonight?
Yeah. I didn't bet it though, but I still like it.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't bet it though. All right, here we go. Bruins 1 game only in hockey. Only 1 game.
The jacket off for this one. Things are getting hot now.
Bruins
are getting a little bit warm in here.
At Toronto, totals 5.5. The Boston Bruins have a really big problem. They are 0-4 in their last 4 closeout games. They simply can't win this game. Couldn't beat Florida. Can't beat Toronto. Like, they gotta get this. Oh, by the way, TJ, who took me to Dreamland in Tuscaloosa, just said Golden Rule is a joke.
A joke, TJ?
That's why you didn't take me there, I guess, TJ.
Can we count TJ every day for Roll Call Friday? Which
in
is
Alabama?
Can we count TJ as the Alabama guy?
Sure, he's in Birmingham. Yeah, sure.
All right, so TJ counts every day as the Alabama on Roll Call Friday.
He's the one
we got a big show tomorrow.
He's the one who took me to Dreamland, and he saw my face when I had Dreamland for the first time, and he said, "Yep, I wasn't lying." I was like, "You weren't lying." I have a gigantic, huge vat of Dreamland barbecue sauce in my fridge. I ate it last night. I eat like once or twice a week.
It's that good.
Oh my God. It's that good. Yes, it is. Their barbecue sauce is, you have to like spice. If you don't like spice, then you won't like it. But if you like spice, it's phenomenal. Like, and it's from TJ.
Like heat spice?
Yeah, spicy. It's got a little kick to it.
Might have to pick some up and then
it's
spicy.
You get some Wonder Bread and you dip it in the barbecue sauce, and it's see you later. It's phenomenal.
Wow.
Absolutely phenomenal. But on my ribs, on brisket, whatever you want to put it on, it's tremendous.
Okay.
Favorite barbecue sauce of all time is Dreamland. Sorry, Jason Casey. Might be a Gates guy. I don't know, but I prefer Dreamland.
Let's worry about there's one hockey game tonight.
Yep.
There's only one.
Bet Toronto.
I need you to say it again for the people in the
Bet
back.
Toronto.
What?
No Matthews, but bet Toronto. Yeah. So I'm going to do this.
He ain't playing.
Game 6 and Game 7. I'm going to bet them both. If I'm right,
is this that Anik thing?
Yep. Yep.
You trying to put it on them?
No, it's just I don't care I don't care now. So the Bruins win, I'm happy. I lose the bet. Toronto wins, I win money. They're plus money now. I laid -110 last night. The Bruins are favored now. You can get plus money.
You probably should just take Toronto to win the
Oh,
series.
Kevin Roper, look at you. Love it.
What?
Bought a couple of quarts of the barbecue sauce. He's locked and loaded.
Wow. All right, Kevin.
So, but I look.
Just bet them to win the series. Better price. I mean, because if you take the bigger plus, you think they're going to win tonight.
Okay.
You can maneuver if something changes between now and then. Is Swayman playing goal tonight?
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. So there's no,
yes.
Oh, God, we lost the Game 5 clincher.
Right.
We're going to switch and go to Allmark.
Right. And it wasn't his fault. He played well. Do you realize in the last 2 years, the key number is 3. The Boston Bruins score 3 goals. This game's over.
It's ironic because we said that exact thing on this show, that if Toronto was going to win, the goalie was going to play great and they were going to win a game 2-1.
Stupid. He was unbelievable.
He was amazing.
2-1. In the last 2 years, the Toronto Maple Leafs have not scored more than 2 goals on Jeremy Swayman. Boston scores 3, game's over. Got to get to 3, though, and Wall was tremendous. Can he do it again? I don't know.
He has to do it again. There's
does.
no other way.
Yeah,
you just said it. 3 is the magic number.
Somebody relay this to Boston. Lift the puck. Lift the puck. Stop shooting it down. Wall drops down. Top 90, either side. Lift the puck. You'll score. Hopefully tonight they lift the puck.
Again, just from what I saw, I think Boston wins tonight.
Beautiful. I'd love it. I'd be like nothing more than.
Unless Wall does it again.
So Cam came on Sports Grid with Wetzel and I last night, and we're having a conversation because what he said to you. I said, I hear you're trying to change the parameters of our bet. And he was like, I don't know, but I may just buy an Amazon jersey and send you $200. How about that? And I was like, I don't care, Cam. That's fine. But I'm like, I wanted to do a cheap, buy a $50 jersey. And you're the one that said, no, I want replica, authentic, tie, real sweaters.
Right.
I wasn't in on that, but I said, fine. And now that your team's down 3-2, your team may lose. Now you're changing all the parameters. He was like, I'm not welching on the bet. I just don't want to have to go to a store and buy a Bruins jersey. I was like,
I told him that I would get him the jersey so he didn't have to do it, because the pain of he's not even worried about the money. He does not want to buy a Bruins jersey. Like, he just goes, Dave, I can't do it. Cam, I totally get it. I totally understand. I was just out and about over the weekend and I saw this beautiful Capitals jersey. And I'm like, I can't buy that. I want to get an Ovechkin jersey maybe at some point, because that's forever. I can't do it. The point is making him buy it. You're right. That's
and wearing it on Sports Grid. Not only just buying it, but he has to wear it.
He's got to wear it. I ain't worried about it. He'll wear it.
I know that. And I'd wear the Leafs jersey if Boston blows the series, which is possible. Boston can blow the series.
Right.
This game goes to overtime. Bet Toronto even heavier. Boston they need a walk in the park. If Boston wins, it's going to be a 4-1 final. Like, they got to just annihilate them. It cannot be. If it's close, if it's 2-1 again, it's all Toronto. This Bruins team, they lack whatever stepping on your throat gene it is. They don't have it. They don't have it. They got to kill everyone. They're not good in tight games. They're just not. Tonight, same thing. I mean, Swayman will be Jeremy Swayman, but I need Pasternak. I need the same game that happened in game 4. 4-1 final. That's what I need.
You like this game under?
Yes, definitely. Yes. Win or lose, definitely. I like the under. But team total Toronto under is not a bad bet. It was 2.5. Bet the under.
I think it goes over.
Team total? Think Swayman gives up 3 goals?
No. I think the game goes over.
Yeah, but it could be 5-2.
That's fine. Whatever.
Or 4-2 is over. It could be 4-2.
I think the correlation is
it's 3.5.
What?
Team total for Toronto is 3.5. That can't be right. That can't be right.
You maybe can move it.
Okay,
right?
That can't be right. That can't be right. Yeah, maybe at DraftKings you can move it.
5.5 the total for the game. So is it 2.5, or is it 3 and 2.5, or is one 3.5 and one's 2.5? I don't know. I haven't looked yet.
He said kidding, kinda. What does that mean? I'm confused. What's kidding, kinda means?
Oh, JPC.
I'm confused.
Check. We take what you say for gospel in this chat.
I'm confused.
You can't be fooling us.
You see 2.5.
Please.
Yes. Bet under 2.5. It should be 2.5. Yeah. Bet under 2.5 for Toronto. Can't bet under elimination game. Team total, Chris. Team total. Not the game under. Team total. Bruins can score 5.
Well, I mean, the game 5 was an elimination game, and it went under
2-1. Yep.
That's
how they got to win. Toronto can't score without Matthews. They can't score. They can't score with Nylander. With Nylander, they can't score with or without Matthews. Doesn't matter. They've scored, I think, one goal or less, like, consistently in the playoffs. Like, they don't go and score more than 2 goals.
But they're playing pretty good, sound defensive hockey, and they're playing more physical.
Yep.
Than maybe years past. If Wall's the key, he wins another game like that. Your guys come home to Boston for game 7.
Oh, you don't
with
want
their
that at all.
sticks going like this.
Oh, yeah. 100%. That's what I mean. Boston's got to win this game going away tonight. It cannot be close, because the same thing happened. And then it's all of that comes back. And I'm going to say it again. Jim Montgomery better be careful. Better be careful.
Listen, this was the lowest pre-game spread of all the matchups. This was
Yep.
this was gonna be
Tight.
the tightest, most competitive series based on the numbers and based on being a hockey guy. Thought this was going 6 or 7 anyway.
Right.
You know, it would be ironic and tragic at the same time for Leafs fans for them to win that game 5 on the road in overtime,
Win game 6.
win tonight,
And
kind
lose.
of
But that's what they
convincingly,
do. I don't think they
go to Boston,
Cam
get
said
a
it last
first
night.
period lead.
Game 7s because they beat Boston in 5-game series. I'm not sure they ever won a game 7 against Boston in their history.
That's come on. They're going
So
to exercise all the demons. If they somehow pull this one off,
Yep.
3 in a row.
Yep, it's possible. I mean, as a Bruins guy, I'm not comfortable at all. Not at all.
Really?
Win tonight, going away, Boston. Just put it to bed. Don't play around. 4-1 final.
Don't play around.
Kill them, win, move on, and then look, you're going to lose to Florida, but just win in advance.
Right?
Montgomery keeps his job. Then he loses back-to-back years in the
There we
first
go
round.
with the firing people.
Just telling
Just
you,
win.
Jim Montgomery. This is not what you do in Boston.
Win.
I mean, look, of all the fan bases in New England, Bruins fans right now are the most tortured. I mean, Bruins fans have been beaten up pretty big over the last 2 years, 3 years. A lot of expectations, a lot of cup finals.
Is this
a
the
lot
most annoying fan base in the city?
no,
It's Patriot fans, right?
I don't. It's hard to call. It's tough to call your own city annoying for fans, but
You talking
Green-
about? I mean, the first one
Celtics-
to tell you that the Steeler fans are by far the most annoying.
Celtic
fans.
guys are Celtic. They call them green teamers, people who are like over the top with the Celtics.
Green teamers.
Yeah, it's a local colloquial slap at diehard Celtics fans saying that all they do is see through green colored glasses. They don't see the whole picture. They're just myopic.
Get us out.
So
of
there you go, Ross Randall,
Continue
the
this conversation.
bleeping green teamers. See, yeah, that's Ross. I agree with you for sure. Guys, if you're watching on Sports Grid TV or listening on Sirius XM, thank you for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you are live with us on YouTube and or on Twitter, you guys stay because you get bonus time.
Nick just asked in the chat, my sound is off. Why is Consig dressed like the manager in Moneyball?
There you go.
I've gone over the total on the number of hats.
For A's? For
hats,
A's, yeah.
And I had the jacket on, and now I got the green uni on.
Right.
Save it for my favorite thing about today.
Good stuff.
Get to that in a minute.
Time for Better Tomorrow. All right, so
Hold on. Ross Randall just came in the chat and said about these green teamers. They think Tatum is better than Larry Bird. I just can't.
he's not wrong. I mean,
For real?
they're young. They're kids. They're 24-year-olds. Never saw Larry. They don't know. They think, yeah. They're all, yeah. I mean, they absolutely say
Kids,
something.
I like to say to kids, no. The
No,
kids
not
don't
when it comes
know.
to that.
They don't
no,
know that.
No, it's the same people who say that LeBron's better than Michael. It's the same people, same type of thought process.
Tatum's 25.
Yeah, but I mean, Tatum, Bird won his first title when he was what? When he was how old? I can't remember. Because Michael was 27,
compare
28.
the short career of Tatum in a short amount of
Yeah, no.
time,
It's just
young,
yeah,
with a guy who's one of the
I
best
agree.
guys that ever walked on a basketball court.
agreed, 100% agreed. It's 5-5 going to the bottom of the 10th in New
See,
York.
This is why you're distracted. You're
Cubs and the
aggravated.
Mets.
Here we go.
I'm annoyed with all these
You
things.
didn't score in the top half of the 10th?
Runner on third with one out, and they didn't score.
Oh,
Stupid,
not good.
fake manufactured bullshit. So I'll probably wind up losing this bet. Unfortunately, it's 5-5. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. But Toronto money line, better to book it.
Toronto hockey or Blue Jays?
Hockey. Blue Jays aren't playing today. Very limited, light slate of baseball today.
You have to ask that question at the book. Guy walks up to the counter and says, I want Toronto. They pull a move. You give them the Blue Jays and they go, oh, I got a free roll. I wanted Maple Leafs. Happened all the time. That's why I had to ask. I will book this one. I think your boys close it out. I don't think that Wall is going to
Be happily
stand
wrong.
on his head again like that.
I'll be happily wrong tonight if the Boston Bruins win.
Okay.
And then Knicks Philly first half under 101.5.
Oh, you went deep here. What's this
Yeah.
move?
So I think both these
Not
teams,
game under?
not game under, because I'm worried about the fourth quarter going and then overtime. just like the last game. I think you're going to see defensive
That was a
efforts.
tough beat.
I think defensive efforts out of both these teams.
Okay.
I think they're going to be tight. I think both teams are going to be tight tonight. And I think we're going to get off to a slow start. Knicks defensively, Philly offensively, low scoring first quarter. Winds up being like a 48-46 type of first half.
I don't know. All the boys in the rooms everywhere right now, they just moved the Bruins 8 cents across the board.
Interesting.
Guys, if you're watching the show, please say hello. I appreciate you waiting for the better to book a portion of the show to move this thing. The Bruin money just came. Maybe it was the consig part of the show saying,
hi.
P-Rolt's on Toronto. Dave said, book it. Move the Boston number because P-Rolt, your picks stink.
Great. I'll gladly be wrong. Gladly.
This one, I think this game goes over tonight.
Okay. All the money's coming on the over right now. Yep.
So I think, I think I would say book this one. I like the play because you paused on the game going under.
Yeah.
So this is kind of thread the needle. This can happen.
First half under, game goes over. Yep.
That 100%, if you're watching the show, that very well could happen. Now, I think the Knicks have to push tempo to get this win. Like I got to chuck up some more threes. You got to get Brunson going. I got to hit, DiVincenzo, all that other stuff. So that would lead me to think the game would go over. But I think Philly got it. I think they're going to answer the bell tonight. I think I think this is a Philly night tonight.
Favorite thing. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Hold on. Super chats.
What do we got? Super chats?
Forgot. Sorry. Super chats.
Super chats.
Okay. Zach O'Shea. Wish I could make the BVB meetup out of vacay until June 1st. Touching down in Vegas tomorrow with a crew for the weekend. Golfing the Paiute. Got a nice golf course.
Oh, hello. Right up by the house.
Never done Vegas for the Derby. Any recommendations for spots on the strip for viewing the Derby?
Oh, absolutely.
Cosmo?
Yes, you can go see Cosmo. You can go. Randy's there. Go say hello to Randy. Tell him, you know me. Listen to the show, all that other stuff. Just further down the strip, Chris and the boys in South Point do an amazing job of making the Derby an event, not
free.
Just in the book.
And free.
And it's all free. They have these rooms set up. You almost feel like you're not quite like Todd was at Churchill Downs, which, by the way, you're right. That shot was unreal. Just thought of that again for a second. That was great. And I don't know. It gets very, very crowded. So like a big book like the Venetian will get very packed.
Right.
For a close event like that. Obviously to watch the race, I watched it last year at the D, which was kind of cool because the Bar Canada put all the TVs on it, and it wasn't at Circa. But Westgate's another one, which is just off the strip, but they'll do a great job. There's places that have giveaways and all this other stuff. Like, this is a big deal. This is the last big deal single day event in the book, other than college night or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Well, UFC 303 will be the next big one.
Yeah.
On June 29th. Yeah. That'll be the next mega event, but that's a while. It's 2 months away basically for the next big one. Mikey Awesome, Triple Crown winner next will be Uncomfortable Testicle. Fair. Sonic would like to know if anyone else is having issues with betting on apps for the Derby. I've never had trouble with FanDuel. Remember, books often have different apps for horse racing than sports betting. So if you're going through your app, you're like, where the fuck is it's a different place, guys. It's a whole different app, a whole different everything. Okay. So just understand
it's all different
software. It's everything. It's parimutuel. It's a whole different world. So don't go on.
Fucking nightmare. I can tell you that. It's not like the book don't want to take the bets. It's a parimutuel bet.
Yeah.
the other things too, and hopefully if we get the other horse guy on for tomorrow that shows her, I'm going to ask him about matchup
I
betting.
thought Emerson was coming on tomorrow.
He is.
Okay.
He is, but Emerson's not a horse guy. He's a dog guy.
Right. Yeah. Big dog guy.
He's a big dog guy.
He told me today that he's turning horny 40. That's why he's coming on the show.
Really?
That was his exact quote.
He's like a lyricist too.
I don't know.
Stuff like I don't know what he's talking about. Well, but he's French kissed the dogs on the show.
He's turning 40, and for Roll Call Friday, so he's turning 40, and he said, "I'm a horny 40," and I was like, "I don't know what you want me to do with that information, but congratulations, happy birthday."
I want to talk about a guy that really wanted to come on a show. I was like, I texted him and said, "You're on. Relax." He goes, "Dude, I thought you were dead."
Jesus, that's what he says to me all the time. He's like,
"No," but he said it because he saw that article.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. I mean, everyone.
I thought you were dead earlier today.
Dave Sherapan should be dead. Wait, what?
Right. That was the favorite thing about today's two-part.
Okay.
Again, one is yesterday was priceless. It was me and Justin, two dads. He's got a couple teenagers hanging out. He called work ahead of time and said, "I am out of office.
Nice.
I don't want to call. I don't want an email. I don't want nothing."
Wow.
And he said, "I never do that." So he had everybody on alert that he was either doing something really important.
Nice.
Or he might have, had a title shot planned or something. Like, I'm out of, don't bother me. So
Right.
he tells me that right when we, meet. I'm walking off the plane, talking to someone about my jersey and the Pirates and the A's and all this other stuff. Willie Stargell's from Alameda.
Okay.
Willie Stargell's one of the greatest Pirates of all time. I'm wearing the throwback Stargell jersey. And A's guy says, "Did you wear that on purpose?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was trying to decide what to wear." And then I knew Willie was from there. So I thought that might be cool. We hang out the whole day, me and Justin, talking, hanging, the whole deal. We didn't get to see batting practice because there was no batting practice. By the time they let us in, they were cleaning the field up and, putting everything away. We walked through the little historical bar, saw these Philadelphia Athletic stuff, and then went down the hallway where they have it divided with a stanchion for the players to come out of the clubhouse right there. And Justin's like, "Dave, be careful because we go down here and turn down these steps, the players will be coming up." And I was like, "Right here?" He's like, "Yeah." Literally 3 A's come running up because they left something in the clubhouse. And I was like, "Sorry, guys, excuse me." And because I got all Pirate stuff.
Right.
And they're like, almost looking like, "What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?"
And then, we watch the game, hang out. We get the Banjo Man. We got Stomper. We got the full A's experience. He's texting Dallas Braden up in the box, up in the booth.
Nice.
Chip Carey's son is now the play-by-play guy for the A's.
Huh? No. He's one of. Well, the full time is the first ever female.
He's sitting in the booth doing a game.
Nice.
So Justin's trying to get him on our show.
Oh, good. Very cool.
So he's
nice.
We're going to figure out a time.
Chip Carey? Chip, right? Not Skip's his dad. Chip Carey,
No.
right?
Skip is the old one that was passed.
Right. Chip is his son.
Chip is the play-by-play guy now for St. Louis, I believe.
Yes, right. And his son.
His son.
Oh,
He's
my
24
gosh.
years old.
Okay.
24 or 25 years old.
Unbelievable.
So
yeah, he's doing a limited schedule. Yeah, I know, because I forget her name and I apologize, but she is the first ever full-time TV female voice of a team in history.
Yeah.
Well, the A's. That's cool.
It was awesome. And we got to spend after the game train ride to a sports bar, two dudes sitting there trying to order what we're going to order. We ended up getting wings. He's never had lemon pepper wings in his life.
Really?
I said, he
wow.
goes, "You like lemon pepper?" And I said, "Yeah, try it." Turns out they were some of the best lemon pepper wings I've ever had in my life.
Nice.
We got these pretzel knots that he said, "I never got these before."
Thank you, Jay.
We had to get a second order.
Ooh, look at that.
They were so good. That's her name, Jenny.
Yeah.
Kavnar.
Kavnar and Chris Carey. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Carey. Okay. So it was awesome. And
Life changing. They're good. I mean, it might be my lunch today. I don't know.
they were delicious. Really good.
If I could eat wings the rest of my life every day, I would.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite food. It really is.
Yeah, wings. Good wings are great.
Oh,
not good.
Bad wings suck, but good wings are great. Yeah.
But it was a great day. It was just a great day. I got to the airport. I sat down and I sent him a text and said, "Man, thank you. That was awesome." And
nice.
That was my favorite thing about today. Yesterday,
okay.
My favorite thing about today was waking up to Dave Sherapan should be dead. Literally was the first line of that article that Dimitri wrote.
Yeah.
And it was excellent. Like there was a couple things where I was teasing him back and forth with a text, like, did AI write this? You missed this, or the word was wrong. He's laughing. He's like, it's no big deal. We'll figure it out. But to take a good conversation and turn it into a piece like that, my phone's been lighting up all morning. And I mean, I'll tell you after the show a little more. I traded text with Chris Grove today.
Hey,
and it was really,
I told him, I said, are you coming to the show or what? You're like, okay, we're coming to Chicago. You coming to the show? He goes, why don't you do one in Vegas? I go, we just did 3. Where were you? And he goes, do it at my house. I said, when and where?
We'll come. We'll come, Chris. We'll do it. Yeah. We'll do it at the house. We are coming to Chicago. And that's the other thing that has sparked because of this is the new intro to Bostonian is Matt Peralt. The book should be dead. Put that on a t-shirt. The book should be dead. How about that? We'll get that. Matt, your picks suck. The book, you should be dead. How about that? You think people will buy those and wear them? That'd be pretty funny. But yeah, the Chicago thing, it's real. It's happening. And the text of like, I got one from a guy called Double D. Yeah. Not because he has double D's. That's what I call him. But he's like, breakfast or dinner on me.
Oh, anywhere?
Listens to the show.
Anywhere? Be careful.
He's texting me during the show.
I got 2 places.
I'm just telling you right now, those are the kind of things that may happen.
Oh, my.
You guys can come and hang out
if he wants
Thursday. If you can't get there.
Girl in the Goat was done. The Girl in the Goat. I am going at some point while I'm in Chicago by myself. I have to. I'm going back to Girl in the Goat. That was a top 10 meal of my life. Absolutely tremendous. Oh, like I didn't want to leave. Amanda had to like pull me out of the restaurant. I'm like, I don't want to leave. Like, can we keep ordering food? Let's keep on ordering food. It was really so. Oh my!
You never do that.
Unbelievable restaurant. I mean, just such a good meal. So everything on the. I ordered like 15 things. It was so good.
Wow.
It was so fucking good. It really was good. Yeah. Or the Purple Pig is equally really good as well. But Girl in the Goat's really good. Girl in the Goat's damn good.
Well, the last thing I wanted to say was you retweeted that clip of you talking on the show.
I gotta say, I went. So we'll look behind the curtain, guys. Here's a quick little story. So I'm talking back and forth, and like obviously every day talking to Amanda, and she says to us about what June is. Like June's Men's Health Day. It's mental health. It's Men's Health Month. So I just start like fooling around different things. So I go on the Discord channel. I'm like, guys, do you remember when I made the announcement for my divorce? Like that show is really special, and it's gone. The Props YouTube is gone. There's nothing on there. Like literally within, I don't know, 5 minutes. Ding, 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 ding. They found the clip. They found the audio and the video clip. I was like, this is insane. Like, you guys are incredible. Like
incredible.
We give you an assignment and it's just like zip done. And I was like, wow. So we got it. And that's why I retweeted it. Cause I was like, well, man, it was 2 years ago, but it was so cool. So, Rainmaker's coming to Chicago. Oh,
Rainmaker's coming to Chicago.
Oh my.
Rainmaker's coming to Chicago.
How
he's
about
not bringing
that?
the hammer. The hammer's not coming, but he's coming to Chicago.
Oh,
he texted me yesterday and said, I'm coming to Chicago. When are you coming to Pittsburgh next? But
that's tremendous.
He's coming, bringing friends.
Yeah. So my favorite thing about today, and it's on my Twitter account, but Richard Schutz wrote one of the funniest pieces
Amazing.
on sports, gaming, and gambling and betting that I read it like 3 times. I literally if you know sports gambling, like the number of like inside jokes, like I sent to people who didn't find it nearly as funny as me, but it was by far my favorite thing because it basically like is this. He talks about like in 2026, 2027, 2029, like he's talking about the future as if we're looking back as to what we uncovered with Dave & Buster's allowing kids to bet inside their application. And some of it is like, I was going to read the whole thing, but I can't because it's
way too long.
Go read it. But it is so fucking funny. It is so good. It needles everyone in the industry. It's awesome. It really is really cool.
He took his wand and hit everybody.
He did.
There was no one
left untouched.
That was left untouched. I mean, he changed the name of the gaming authority. Talked about studies that asked people on a park bench for the number of stuff to get their numbers. Everything. I sent him a personal text that, and I tweeted at him too. I'd like him to come on the show if we could get it figured out and let him just promote that. And that was really funny and well written. I mean, there's a lot of people that have pushed back on that.
On this?
On the Dave & Buster's thing.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because they should. They're calling it out for they're calling it out for what it is. I mean, this is all just to give you a quick article, one paragraph. He said nobody could ever forget Black Wednesday in March of 2027 in the arcade world. On this date, a federal task force raided over 213 arcades, seized skee ball sized, illegally weighted with plugs made with fishing weights, and found over 2,000 containers of tainted air hockey glide, and discovered numerous basketball hoops with openings over 2/3 of an inch too small.
Wow. I don't even know what to say to that.
Oh, it's so good. March of 2027, guys. That's why it's funny.
Yeah, he's talking about the future, like what's going to happen based on what's already happened with the legal gambling.
Black Wednesday in the arcade world. I mean, at an organized crime hearing on arcade betting scams held in 2028 before the U.S. Senate in Washington, D.C., many of the children held their ball caps over their faces to avoid being photographed as their parents were forced to testify at the hearings.
Great. You know what else is great? I just looked down in the chat, by the way.
Cubs
Vinny
lost.
Konowinski is confirmed.
Nice.
To be at the Chicago show.
Let's
just
go.
came in the chat and said,
how did the Cubs
worked it out? He will be there. Rainmaker Lou will be there, bringing a dance partner. This is going to be fun. We've never met Vinny.
Can we just all admit that the Ghost Runners is the dumbest fucking thing in all of sports?
Ever.
So fucking dumb.
What happened? The Cubs lost?
Yeah, they scored in the top and gave up 2 in the bottom. Lost 7-6. Get out.
Better to be on the bottom in that situation.
Just dumb. All of it is dumb.
Dumb.
Manufactured bullshit. We are back tomorrow for a Roll Call Friday, boys and girls. Hope to see all of you here. It should be a big Roll Call Friday. Emerson's coming in, so it's going to be off the chain. And
Roger Long's 50-50. Pick him to be in Chicago.
Wow. Brigade's
Bring them Indiana people.
May 16th. Hope to see you all at Over Under Bar coming up 3 to 5 p.m. in Chicago. He's Dave. Matt, go read the article on Dave, BarrettSportsMedia.com. Go read the article. It's worth your time to go ahead and do that. Back tomorrow for a Roll Call Friday. Yeah, Todd and Dimitri too. Thank you. You guys were great.